So Silvert Alert is a production team, but for this particular project, Faustian Pact, which it's our world premiere of this whole shebang. It's specifically a pact, a blood pact between Micki, Peter, and myself, and the ghost of F.W. Murnau, the director of the silent film Faust, which we've mutilated, basically. It's not one of your typical live music accompaniment to a silent film kind of deals. We've actually re-edited the film heavily. It's sort of like a remix of the film. And we're going to be doing a live musical accompaniment, and there will be live dancers and live rituals on stage, and it will all be very stately, graceful, elegant, and unpredictable. See, we're not a band, so we don't, and we're not like an orchestra. We don't need to go there and do our little shtick. Silvert Alert is a mutable creature. We adapt to any kind of situation. That's the whole idea of it, actually, is to be able to do a diversity of things under that heading without any kind of artistic constraints or genre constraints or any constraints. A lot of Faustian Pact is going to be very spontaneous on stage. There will be a film, which has obviously been pre-edited by us, and a soundtrack to the film as well. But in addition to that, there will be choreographed staging, but we're kind of throwing our dancers in the deep end. We're not giving them a lot of time to rehearse. We're kind of going to try to imbue them with the spirit of the production, put them in the costumes, and transform them. And as far as the music goes, that's going to be happening live, in addition to the soundtrack, that's all going to be improvised. That's strictly improvised on a variety of instruments, none of which will be your traditional rock and roll instruments whatsoever. In fact, you probably won't even recognize most of the instruments. It's very much a deconstruction of the Murnau film. Anyone who's seen the original will recognize large chunks of it. We've tried to keep as much of it as intact as we can, but we did want to put it at the service of a different type of idea than is presented in the Murnau film. We're definitely moving very strikingly away from the Christian ethos as presented in the film and moving more towards some sort of transcendental idea of the Faust figure, one in which Faust prevails over both good and evil in the sort of Christian moral sense of good and evil, one where he becomes a superior man. And there will be archetypal figures that symbolize scenes in the film and resonate and echo with imagery in the film, but really it's all sort of been made to interweave a lot more and not strictly present the Faust narrative as either readers of Goethe or viewers of the Murnau film would recognize. We've just about finished editing the film. The next step is the implanted soundtrack, and we're making costumes, or I should say Micki's making costumes, and my sister is making costumes. She's a costume designer. And then we come back to Brooklyn in the run-ups right before the festival date, our date is February 14th, I believe, which is Valentine's Day in many countries. Yes, we'll be filling the project with love in the run-up to Valentine's Day and packing our bags and all our junk that we need to take along with us. We're delighted to be presenting it in Perth, of all places. It's about probably the polar axis from New York. So we'll start here and we'll slowly work our way back to New York, I guess.